Hello and welcome back to the Villa Filler podcast. We are here today with big news, Dan. Ashley Young has signed for Aston Villa on a free transfer. First of all, mate, how are you doing?
I'm very good, mate. Very good. I'm absolutely delighted to be here discussing this with you. I can't believe we're discussing our second confirmed transfer already. It's only the 17th of June. It's crazy, isn't it, when you consider how late our business has been left in recent years?
Getting it done early, man. I mean, I'm never going to complain. We got the transfer rumour mill out for you guys with some mixed reaction. Honestly, there was some comments that I was just kind of genuinely baffled at. We had someone tell us they hate us. A few people express their lack of interest in this signing. But guys, it's done now. Ashley Young is a Villa player on a free transfer. It's been reported he's earning around 50 grand a week. You know, when you think, I think the main thing, Dan, that comes to mind with this transfer is opportunity cost, and it's incredibly low, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of rumours, going around about the wages. There were a lot of outlets reporting that initially that it could be as high as 80k, which a lot of people were saying was high. But I mean, forgive me, I don't know if I'm just slipping into the sort of the modern era of football, but is that a lot of money? Really? Like nowadays in the Premier League, like if you want to be competing in European competition and pushing for top 6, top 4, 80 grand is not a lot of money. You know, we can't, if we're looking at Jack Grealish and we're putting the amount of praise that is due on him, he's a 200 grand a week footballer.
Yeah.
Like, £80,000 is not a great deal of money. If the club wants to progress to the levels that we are, we're going to pay players a lot more than that if we're going to need to get there. And so, if the wages are realistically anywhere below that, I think we've done ourselves a good bit of business, because this is a player that brings with himself so many benefits for the squad and brings himself so much experience, over 200 games for Man United. He was a captain there. He's gone to Inter Milan, won the Scudetto, played, I think, 36 games last season for Inter Milan, 25 the season before. For Man United, 261 games over 9 seasons. That's, we're talking about a player with serious pedigree. So if you're getting him in for anything less than, 80 grand a week with no transfer fee, I mean, mate, as we're going to talk about, it seems like a great bit of business to me.
It does. Assuming it is the 50 grand that's been reported, you're only paying 2.6 mil over the year for wages. So if you want to say that's your transfer fee, are you going to find a better backup left back / winger / whatever you want to look at it as for 2.6 mil? I don't think you are, Dan. And it makes sense. I understand the sort of argument that some people have presented. It doesn't fit the transfer strategy. But has signing Pepe Reina, has signing Danny Drinkwater, has signing Ross Barkley, has signing John Terry? No, it hasn't. These are signings that sometimes you just make because whilst, they're not going to add anything in terms of, what you're trying to achieve in, improving players, selling them on for high fees, you need that experience. And as we touched on in the transfer rumour, Dan, losing the likes of Tom Heaton, losing the likes of Al Mohammadi, Neil Taylor, you need to add that kind of experience. And I do very much, Dan, get the air that there's unfinished business here with Ashley Young. He's had talks with Watford and Burnley, allegedly, according to the papers. He's chosen to come back to Aston Villa. He's missed out on top 4 3 times with Villa. He's lost a final. He's lost a semi-final with Villa. And, this team is on the cusp of something great, Dan, whether it is getting Villa finally into Europe, whether it's winning a trophy, be that the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. There's something here that is clearly wanting Ashley. There's something inside him saying, I need to come home. There's clearly unfinished business at Villa for Ashley.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And I think a lot of people are talking about, one of the reasons why they don't want him to come is because of the manner in which he left the club. But I mean, I don't hold. Does anyone hold? You've got the choice. He's got no allegiances to Aston Villa. He's not a Villa fan. He's born knowing this. He had a lot of great years, but Man United come calling. You've got the choice of staying with Alex McLeish's Aston Villa, knowing the trajectory that the club is on at that point, or going to Manchester United and winning the titles that he did there. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, are you really going to begrudge him for going to Manchester United and winning a Premier League, an FA Cup, a League Cup, a Community Shield, and a Europa League, whilst we languished in fighting relegation for 4 seasons, then spent 3 in the Championship? Like, there's no... I mean, even I think most Villa fans would be hard pressed to stay with their club at this point. You know, you can't blame a player for going and doing what he did. I mean, it's the same with Delph, same with Milner. I mean, the only one that you can sort of caveat the rule with is Stuart Downing. But, you know, a lot of the players that left us have gone on to achieve huge successes, and Ashley did that. And those successes are part of the reason that we're buying him, is because, you know, there's a Europa League runner-up with Inter Milan. Yeah, as I said, he won the Europa League. That's a competition which we're desperate to be competing in. And so that experience is why we went and got Ross Barkley, because he'd won that competition. It's why we've gone after Ashley Young, because he's won that competition. It's that kind of experience that he's going to bring to the younger lads in the squad, the lads that not just that are playing first team football, but are coming through the academy as well. And that kind of experience, that been there, done there attitude, where he's not going to be playing every week, but he's just willing to pass guidance on to these younger players, is exactly why this deal makes sense on a free, because realistically, you can't just play the Premier League like Football Manager. I mean, we'd all love to see a Villa team stacked with 18-year-old wonder kids, but unfortunately, that's not how it works. You do need to carry out that rule with your older statesmen, the guys that have been around the ring more than once. And Ashley Young has done that in a number of countries to a very high standard. And as you can see, you know, we know how much Conte and his system rely on fullbacks. We know the demand that he puts on fullbacks. And so for Ashley Young, as a 35-year-old, to still be putting up more than 50 appearances for Inter Milan in 2 seasons is nuts.
It is. And, you know, Italian football isn't a joke. I think, you know, the national side has shown that the other day, didn't they, Dan, with how, you know, how they're handling the Euros so far. That they're a joy to watch. And, you know, Ashley Young, if you look at the heat maps on SofaScore, you can see he covers so much ground on that left-hand side, which of course is the sort of, as you just alluded to, Dan, the sort of trademark of that Antonio Conte 3-4-3 system. It's so important. That's where the width comes from. And it just does make sense on so many levels. Like, I can understand, you know, holding a grudge to a certain extent, but I feel like, you know, we're all over Delph now. We're all over Young. And to be honest, you know, Milner, Barry, they tried to leave a lot quicker than Young did. I think Barry tried to leave on a number of occasions, if my memory's not failed me, Dan. Again, you can't really hold a grudge on these players. They've gone and they've won everything that there has been to win. So, you know, that's the game you kind of have to understand sometimes. You know, I don't doubt that, you know, Villa holds a place very dearly in Ashley Young's heart. But, you know, when, as you said, Dan, 2009, Manchester United come in, the best team in the world at the time. You're not going to turn that down, are you? And as well, you know, SofaScore have him down, valued at 1.1 million euros. You know, you're getting this kind of player for free. You're just paying for the wages. That's really important. And I think it's just that kind of character to have around. The winning mentality is so important. We've seen that with someone like Emmy. He's come in. He demands, you know, greatness. He has a very high standard. We've seen that in so many interviews. And, you know, maybe that kind of came from his own personal standards and less of the experience with Martinez, because obviously he hadn't really played at the highest level. But it's good, you know, you've got both of them assets with Ashley Young, someone who's played at the highest level, someone who is a professional. And as I say, Dan, it's just a really exciting transfer, mate, isn't it?
It really is, mate. And I think it all comes down to something we were actually saying in the Pape Sarr transfer rumor mill episode, whereby we now are in a position. How good was the recruitment last year? Every single player was on the money. We didn't overpay. All of them were shrewd deals, and the player came in and either met or completely surpassed expectations. We're now in a position where we have to completely trust the guys that are in the recruitment strategy, your Lohan Langers and so on, Rob McKenzie, because they know what they're doing. You know, this is a guy that we're talking about, Rob McKenzie in particular, that went and plucked N'Golo Kante and Riyad Mahrez from the second division in France. And so you can imagine the reception of Leicester fans, like, who are these guys? And, you know, here we are in 2021, and they're arguably, well, N'Golo Kante, best midfielder in the world at the moment? I think, yeah. You know, he's staking that claim. And it's like, so these guys in charge know what they're doing. They know what is a good deal and what isn't. And you have to put your personal allegiances aside. I mean, we all thought Bertrand was going to be a disaster. He was too lazy in France. He wasn't doing it for Lyon. You know, guys in France were happy to see him go. Look what he came and did for the club. Guys, you just have to. I know this is a little bit out of the norm. You're right. It's not completely in line with our transfer strategy, but these guys know what is best for the club, and they know what a good deal looks like. And I see this one, and all I can urge is for people that don't, just get behind it. trust in the club, because at this point we have to. This isn't Tony Gier and Keith Winans.
Yeah.
You know, Villa are a serious organisation with really, really intelligent people at the fore. And so whatever decision they make for the club at this point, mate, I'll back it.
100%. And, you know, this allows other business to be done. You know, you're not spending a transfer fee. You sign a Buendia for, you know, let's say 40 million. Okay, we've now got Ashley Young in on a free. We don't have to worry about paying 20 million pounds or 12 million pounds, however much it costs to get a Rico Henry in or another backup left back for Matt Target, because, you know, we've got that option in for free. And it's all about balancing the books. We know we've got the money. You have to be shrewd with certain signings. You don't want to go cheap on, you know, someone like a Buendia, because, you know, as we've seen before, you go cheap on them kind of, but even, you know, of course, Troy always had a good season, but if you go and spend another, you know, 15 to 20 million pounds on a winger, like we have done with Buendia, you're signing a better player. So, you know, signing a guy as experienced as Ash, someone who's been there and done it, got all of the medals to prove it as well for free, it allows you to go and spend that 40 million, that 30 million on your Sarge, your Ward-Prowses, whoever else it may be for Villa, where they're looking to recruit. But yeah, as you said, Dan, just to echo that sentiment, we have to back the club. This is exciting. And again, you know, we said this in the transfer rumour, Dan. Maybe it's just people our age. Maybe it's just because Ashley Young is the winger of our childhood. He's the player of our childhood. You know, you think of that
on your chest, mate.
Exactly, man. That late Everton goal, you know, countless, the goal against Birmingham City, but all of the goals against Birmingham City. Ashley Young came up when it mattered most for Villa, and I do not doubt that he will do the same again for Aston Villa, Dan. It's so exciting, but I think that's probably where we will leave this announcement with you guys. If you enjoyed this video, hit a like, comment your thoughts below on the signing. We want positive thoughts. We know Ashley is going to do the business for Aston Villa. And if you haven't, subscribe for more content. We're trying to hit 5K before the season starts. I think we're about 600-ish subscribers off. I think it's doable, Dan. You guys love the transfers, keeps the channel growing. So if you'd subscribe, that would mean the absolute most. Up the Villa.